A long-awaited report into child sexual abuse in football has found significant institutional failings on the part of the Football Association and says the sport's governing body put children at risk over a 5-year period. The Sheldon Review was commissioned in 2016 after several men waived their right to anonymity to speak about their experiences. Well, one of the most prolific offenders was the football coach and convicted paedophile Barry Bennell. The report found that during his time at Manchester City, senior management at the club were made aware of rumours but didn't investigate. It adds that some members of staff appear to have referred to him as a kiddie fiddler. It also concluded that abusers used the cloak of respectability to win over boys and their parents, and that the men were manipulative and used elaborate grooming practices. In later years, between 1995 and 2000, the review says the FA acted far too slowly to introduce effective child protection measures and that there were significant institutional failings for which there is no excuse. And it found that up until August 2020, there were 240 suspects of sexual abuse and at least 692 survivors. Well, our sports correspondent Martha Kellner joins us live from Crewe. It's pretty damning, isn't it, Martha?
It certainly is. As you mentioned there, survivors have waited an awfully long time for the release of this report. It was commissioned 4 years ago, back in 2016, when Andy Woodward became the first footballer to waive his right to anonymity and reveal that he had suffered abuse by Barry Bennell, that prolific football sex abuser that we all now know so much about. And now it has finally arrived, this report. It's 707 pages long. It's exhaustive in its detail and it's damning in its verdict, particularly for the Football Association. While the report finds no evidence of a conspiracy or collusion to cover up within the Football Association, it does find that over a 5-year period between October 2000, I'll just get those dates for you, between October 1995 and May 2000, that 5-year period, that they consistently let down children within football. Clive Sheldon QC, the barrister who authored the report, wrote, "The FA should have engaged more deeply with the issue of child protection and should have acted more quickly to bring in comprehensive measures to safeguard children in the game. These are significant institutional failings for which there is no excuse." Now, the report spoke to 62 survivors and 157 other individuals. It focuses on 7 abusers. Barry Bennell, who was also a football scout and coach here at Crewe Alexandra, also at Manchester City, but it also focuses on 6 other abusers. The report identifies historical failings at several football clubs. They are Chelsea, Aston Villa, Newcastle, Manchester City, Crewe Alexandra, where I am, Stoke, Peterborough and Southampton. Now, some survivors did provide testimony to Clive Sheldon QC, stating that they believed there was a paedophile ring within football. Clive Sheldon accepted that some of these perpetrators may have known each other, but he didn't think that they acted together to abuse young boys. That is one of the key findings of this report. Some survivors also want to see mandatory reporting. That would be a legal requirement for those who know that abuse is going on to report it to a higher authority. Clive Sheldon QC said that was not within his remit. Now, he did, however, recommend 13 recommendations, including the publishing of a safeguarding report every year and also an annual Safeguarding in Football Day. But clearly this is going to be a highly emotional day for the survivors of that abuse. We may call it historical abuse, but it's still very much having a physical and psychological effect on those survivors right up until the present day. As you can see from an interview I did earlier today with David Lean, who was a victim of Barry Bennell.
That's it.
It impacts you sort of every day. It doesn't go away. And, you know, I've said this many times, I can close my eyes and put myself back into that room. It's that easy to do that, you know, and so I wasn't 3, 4, 5-year-old, I was 12. And, you know, I was at high school. I've got very vivid memories of exactly what happened. So yeah, we live with it every day.
People don't realise how big an effect it takes on your whole family.
Yeah, I wasn't sort of planning on getting, you know, emotional today. I've spoke about it a lot. But yeah, it does.
Hugely emotional there from David Lean. Now, one of the clubs which the report focuses on is Crewe Alexandra, where Barry Bennell spent many years and committed many offences against many young boys. The report finds that while there was no obvious cover-up at Crewe Alexandra, there were persistent rumours that Barry Bennell had a sexual interest in children, rumours which the report concludes that some coaches would probably have heard about. Now, Dario Gradi was director of football here up until 2019. He was also here at the time of Barry Bennell's offending, and we tried to get a word with Dario Gradi earlier.
Hello, sir. Hi, how are you?
I'm sorry, I'm not able to say anything to you.
Sorry, I beg your pardon?
I'm not able to say anything to you.
Is there any comment you'd like to make?
No.
I'm from Sky News.
I can't, I'm sorry, no.
Any word to those who've been victims of what's
No, I've nothing to say. I'm under instructions, sorry.
Is there any comment you'd like to make to the victims of...
I've just said no. Sorry, bye.
Dario Gradi there, very reluctant to comment, but we do expect to hear from the Football Association later on today. You would expect, given how damning the verdict is of this report, given findings of institutional failings within that organisation, that 5 years which they were found to have put children playing football around the country at risk, that it will force that organisation, the national governing body for football in this country, into an apology that victims have waited an awful long time for.